Hello, children. Well, technically, today, as I record this, is the very first day of school that you should be online looking at things. We've been here for a couple weeks, so this is, as I'm recording this is August 24th. And what's fascinating about this, again, is today we're going to talk about mental and emotional health and what we do to help that. Because right now, I'm sure all of you, including us, are going through a little mental and emotional, struggle figuring out how we get onto Schoolology, Schoolology, if we are turning in this assignment right. With us, we're deciding, did we post this right? Did we do this right? I'm seeing things that, that with my Bitmoji class here with health, I needed to share it with everyone instead of some people because they're asking for access on it. Again, my Bitmoji class is just going to be a little picture that's going to show you, every week what we're doing in class. So, again, I'm we all will struggle with a little mental and emotional health of like, oh God, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? So, the rest of the week, you guys are just going to watch this slide. Again, you can go back and forth, you can take notes. And then next week, on Monday, you're going to do an assignment based off of this. So I'm going to get this going. Mental emotional health. Again, you should be taking notes on this. You don't have to copy down these slides verbatim, which means word for word. Again, you do notes the way it'll help you. Mental health deals with how we think, feel, and cope with daily life. Now, I'm going to click out real quick and we're going to go to dictionary.com for those of you who are unfamiliar with what it means to cope. This thing's going slow because I've got like 12,000 windows open. That's what we call hyperbole. To cope means to struggle or deal, especially on fairly even terms, with some degree of success, usually followed by with. That one's not bad, but number two is even better. To face and deal with responsibilities, problems, or difficulties, especially successfully or in a calm or adequate manner. So that's what we're working on right now with mental health, is trying to teach you how to cope with things that mess with you mentally and emotionally. And after we finish social health, the triangle part, next Tuesday, again, we'll discuss how all of these parts of the triangle, once again, are interconnected, because you saw that watching the Health Triangle YouTube video about how mental health can be tied to your physical health and your social health, and all of them are linked. And it's how we cope with it, what we do that decreases, de-escalates our mental health, are the things that escalate us, that make us stressed, give us those triggers, make us, do things to where we feel like things are just, the marbles are just rattling around in the brain. Mental health encompasses learning, stress management, and mental illness and disorders. We'll talk about learning. Again, stress management is actually going to be the assignment that you're going to do on Monday. Then we'll talk about mental illnesses and disorders. As always, you can go back and watch these slides if I'm going too fast, and you can copy down stuff. You can even, I think you might be able to pause this and write down as I'm still going. Mental health learning. Learning is the development of skills, behaviors, and knowledge. Obviously, we learn things, again, we learn things first mentally. What I mean by that is, again, as you're a child, sometimes as you're a baby, you're learning to roll over, you're learning to crawl, you're learning to pick yourself up, you're learning to walk, you're learning to kind of speak, you're learning to cry. You know, even though we know those are physical things, it's mentally we're telling our body to do that. Again, I cannot stress enough, and we will get into this more when we get into the drugs and alcohol part of do not do things that will screw up your brain. And your brain tells everything in your body what to do. My brain is telling me how to teach you this lesson, how to speak, how to say exactly all the words I want right now. Learning increases self-confidence, awareness, and self-perception. It also teaches one coping skills. So again, as we learn stuff, we increase our self-confidence. Right now, as you're learning how to navigate Schoolology, as you're learning how to turn in assignments, you're getting better at perceiving things, how to understand things without asking your parents, without asking your teachers, without asking your brothers or sisters, how do you do this? And you're coping better at how to manage this new website. So that's something, again, we're going to teach you how to do, especially these first couple weeks, because this is going to be just as stressful for you as it is us. Again, this is a new process for all of us in the district. So again, this will give me some mental health challenges and hurdles that I need to do and need to learn. Mental health stress management. Stress deals with the way our bodies and minds deal with life changes. It is important to learn healthy ways to deal with stress, or you could be at risk for anxiety or depression. This part is actually going to be the assignment we're going to do on Monday. Again, anxiety is when your heart starts going, starts beating real fast. When, you just, again, you feel like the marbles in your brain are just bouncing crazy. You start talking real fast. Your eye movements, you just start going everywhere. You get all that when you start getting anxious. You sweat, you tap, you do all kinds of stuff. You can just tell you're not there. You're feeling stressed. And depression is where, again, mentally and physically we just kind of start feeling down in the dumps. We feel blue. We just feel out of it. We feel like Eeyore on Winnie the Pooh. And again, it is important to learn good stress management techniques. And again, that's what our assignment is going to be on Monday. You need to learn how to deal with stress, because life is going to be stressful, kiddos. We're always going to have stress. And we need to learn varying degrees of stress management, because what we can do sometimes at home to de-escalate our stress, we can't do at school. We can't do at our job. We can't do while we're driving a car. We can't do while, we're on a mountain pass, or, a snake staring you in the face. For those of you who have watched my About Me video, I don't like snakes or mountain passes. And again, how I deal with those stressors, those triggers, is totally different. So again, we're going to be talking about that. Mental health and mental disorders. Stress and problems with school, friends, family can cause mental illnesses. All kinds of things can cause mental illnesses, mental disorders. Again, when we have stressors, we don't think of everything as a mental illness or a disorder, kiddos. That just happens in life. When we have stressors that get us. Mental illnesses include depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and phobias. Again, I'm going to click out of this. And let's see, National Institute for Mental Health. I think that's the website I've been going to. Let's see. Am I right? I am. So, I'm going to go to the National Institute of Mental Health. I'm going to type in, I can't spell, depression. Now, obviously, we're going to find a lot of stuff on depression. I can even show this little video real quick, but I'm just not going to just yet. Again, depression is a common or serious mood disorder. It causes severe symptoms that affect how you feel, think, and handle daily activities, such as sleeping, eating, working. To be diagnosed with depression, the symptoms must be present for at least 2 weeks. As we see, there's just a myriad of types of depression, like persistent depressive disorder, postpartum depression, that's when women have after babies, psychotic depression, seasonal affective depression, bipolar disorder. We'll get into that because that's one of them. Again, depression, again, like you said, is when you feel, you think, you feel down in the dumps. And obviously things can make us depressed. Like right now the Denver Nuggets are getting destroyed in the playoffs. I'm a big Nuggets fan, and not as big as the Broncos, but I do like the Nuggets. And I get a little blue, get a little depressed when they lose, and I know they're probably going to lose the series against the Jazz. And so then, I'm going to be a little depressed about their season being over, but then I'm going to get over it. So, again, that's something that I keep going back to. That's our assignment. Bipolar disorder. So again, I'm going to go back to this website. I'm going to click on bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is different from depression, but it includes this list because someone with bipolar disorder experiences episodes of extremely low moods that meet the criteria for major depression, also called bipolar depression. But a person with bipolar disorder also experiences extreme high, euphoric, or irritable moods called mania, or less severe called hypomania. So when I click on it, again, bipolar disorder, formerly known as manic depressive illness or manic depression, is a mental disorder that causes unusual shifts in mood, energy, activity levels, concentration, and the ability to carry out day-to-day tasks. There are 3 types of them. All 3 involve the clear changes in mood, energy, and activity levels. These moods range from the periods of extreme up, elated, irritable, or energized behavior, known as manic episodes, to very down, sad, indifferent, or hopeless periods, known as depressive episodes. Less severe manic periods are known as hypomanic periods. So again, we see the 3 types: bipolar 1 disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, or cyclothymic disorder, also known as cyclothymia. So again, when we go back to what it means to be bipolar with the disorder, again, doesn't mean that just because you have a shift in your mood, your energy, your activity levels, your concentration. You may see that in your parents, your guardians, your brothers, your sisters, your grandma, your grandpas, your friends. Doesn't mean that everyone has bipolar disorder. Again, that's just dealing with the everyday stressors of life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially. But obviously, if we see this a lot, it is important to look at the signs of how people can be bipolar in their disorders. The next one I want to talk about is schizophrenia. So again, I'm going to go up here, if I can type. Schizophrenia is a serious mental illness that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. People with schizophrenia may seem like they've lost touch with reality, which causes significant distress for the individual, their family members, and friends. If left untreated, the symptoms of schizophrenia can be persistent and disabling. However, effective treatments are available. When delivered in a timely manner, coordinated, and sustained manner, Treatment can help affected individuals to engage in school or work, achieve independence, and enjoy personal relationships. So I want to just go into this paragraph a bit for talking about the onsets of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is typically diagnosed in the late teen years to the early 30s and tends to emerge earlier in males, late adolescence, early 20s, than females, early 20s, early 30s. A diagnosis of schizophrenia often follows the first episode of psychosis, when individuals first display symptoms of schizophrenia. Gradual changes in thinking, mood, and social functioning often begin before the first episode of psychosis, usually starting in mid-adolescence. Schizophrenia can occur in younger children, but it is rare for it to occur before late adolescence. So again, that's where people kind of lose touch with reality. They really don't know maybe who they are sometimes. They think they're someone totally different. So again, it doesn't mean that sometimes you see this with friends and family members that it's to think that they're automatically schizophrenic. But it is important to look at this. So again, before we go back to phobias, again, there is no shame in depression, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia and mental illnesses. Back when my grandparents were growing up, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, a lot of people felt like there was a stigma, a shame to mental illnesses and mental disorders, and there isn't. And that would always harm people when it came to getting the help they needed. They didn't want to believe that they had these disorders. Last one is phobias. As we know, phobia is a Latin term meaning fear of. And some people with mental health and mental disorders, mental illnesses, they do have a specific phobia of something. Maybe it's something, again, the way the brain's hardwired. Maybe it could be something happened. There was a trigger. Something happened in life that created a fear of something for people. Such as, again, if you've watched my About Me, my fear, my phobia of mountain passes happened because someone almost ran me off a road, just not on purpose. They're just being an idiot. And now I'm petrified of mountain passes. So, I'm going to look up, as I looked up earlier, fear of snakes. And there is a list of phobias. Let's see if I can find it again. List of phobias and fears. The phobia list. So, we can type in the phobia list, and it'll give, by the S's, it'll say this type S. But if I say snakes, that's not what I want. We can look this up, but I looked it up earlier where if we have a fear of snakes, which I do. I do not like snakes. Snakes, a fear of snakes, it's what's known as ophidiophobia. So, that's me. I do have a fear of snakes. I do not like them. So again, that's part of a mental health, a mental disorder. Again, I'm not sure why I don't like snakes. I just don't. So, this will end this first week of health. We will do on Monday the 31st. You're going to record a video about what do you do for your mental health. What's something that you do to kind of de-escalate when you're feeling mentally not healthy. I know that's something we kind of dealt with the About Me, maybe our future self, and that's something we're talking about if you're in my access hour. But for those of you not in my access hour, I want to see what you do, which I'll record a video myself as well for you next week. Please remember to take notes on this, and have a good weekend.